Your life is falling apart. Maybe a breakup, job loss, or everything feeling chaotic. You're terrified, and a Buddhist nun is about to tell you something radical. Stop trying to hold it together. Let it fall apart. That's where your freedom begins. Welcome to Major Inspiration. Today we're learning Pema Chödrön's revolutionary approach to chaos and crisis. She's an American Buddhist nun whose book, When Things Fall Apart, has helped millions. Let me share her wisdom. Who is Pema Chödrön? Pema Chödrön wasn't always a nun. Born Deirdre Bloomfield Brown in New York, she got married, had children, lived a conventional life. Then her husband told her he was having an affair, and her world collapsed. She was devastated, lost. In that darkness, she found a Buddhist teacher who told her, "Don't run from this pain. Go into it, be with it." That teaching changed her life. She became a Buddhist nun and eventually one of the first American women fully ordained in the Tibetan tradition. She is now a resident teacher at Gampo Abbey in Nova Scotia. What makes Pema special is her honesty. She doesn't pretend to be above suffering. She talks openly about her anger, fear, and struggles. That's why her teachings work. They're from someone who has fallen apart repeatedly and learned to find peace in chaos. The core teaching, groundlessness. Here is Pema's radical teaching. We spend our lives trying to create solid ground. We want security, certainty, control. We build careers, relationships, identities, anything to feel safe. But here's the truth. There is no solid ground. Everything changes. Relationships end, jobs disappear, bodies age. The ground was never solid. We just pretended it was. Pema calls this groundlessness. Our suffering comes from fighting it. We're terrified of uncertainty, so we grasp and cling. Every time something falls apart, we panic. But what if groundlessness isn't the problem? What if it's actually freedom? When you accept there's no solid ground, you stop needing one. You stop clinging. You stop being terrified of change because change is the only constant. You become flexible instead of rigid. Pema says, to stay with that shakiness, to stay with a broken heart, that is the path of true awakening. Most teachers tell you how to get rid of discomfort. Pema tells you how to be with discomfort. The practice, 3 steps. How do you stay calm when everything's falling apart? Pema gives us 3 steps. Step 1, stop running. When uncomfortable, we run. We numb with food, alcohol, TV, work, social media. Pema says, stop, stay, feel it. Not because suffering's good, but because running makes it worse. When you stop and just feel the sensation of fear or grief in your body, you realize it's just energy. It won't kill you. Step 2, get curious. Pema teaches leaning into the sharp points. Instead of pulling away, lean in with curiosity. What does this feel like? Where is it in my body? You're not wallowing, you're investigating. When you do this, the pain loses power. It's just sensation, just thought, just feeling, passing through. Step 3, remember groundlessness. In crisis, remind yourself this is groundlessness. There never was solid ground. That sounds terrifying, but it's freeing. You stop building on quicksand. You learn to stand on nothing, which means you can't fall. Pema says, things come together and fall apart. Then they come together again and fall apart again. This is life, not a problem to solve, but a dance to participate in. Why this is powerful? Most advice tells you how to feel better, fix problems, avoid pain. Pema tells you the opposite. You don't need to feel better, you need to feel what you feel fully. When you stop running, 3 things happen. First, you become braver. Fear has less power when you face it. You stop needing life to be comfortable. You can handle hard things. Second, you develop compassion. When you sit with your own pain without judging, you can sit with others' pain too. You stop trying to fix everyone. Third, Danath, you find peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. Real peace isn't about having a stable life. It's about being okay even when things aren't okay. Pema calls this becoming comfortable with uncomfortable. You're not numb. You're not pretending. You're just not adding extra suffering by resisting what is. Pema's own struggles. Pema is honest about her challenges. Even after decades of practice, she gets triggered. She feels anger, fear, insecurity. The difference is she doesn't believe those feelings mean something's wrong. She talks about road rage, jealousy, being petty. She is human, but she's learned to notice these states without identifying with them. Oh, there's anger, there's fear. Not, I am angry. I am afraid. This is the practice. Not becoming perfect, just becoming aware. In that awareness, there is space. You can feel anger without acting on it. You can feel fear without being consumed. Pema says her teacher told her, you might think you're falling apart, but really you're discovering you were never together in the way you thought. And that's okay, real world application. I've used this teaching in my hardest moments. When everything feels like it's crumbling, instead of frantically trying to fix it, I pause. I feel what I'm feeling. I remind myself there's no ground beneath this anyway. And something amazing happens. The panic eases not because the situation changes, but because I stop fighting reality. I stop making it worse by resisting. You can practice this today. Next time you feel uncomfortable, anxious, sad, frustrated, don't reach for your phone, don't distract yourself. Just stay for 2 minutes. Feel it in your body. That's the practice. The deeper truth Pema's teaching points to something profound. When you accept groundlessness, you discover that you don't need ground. You're not a solid thing that needs support. You're more like space itself, boundless, free, unable to break. The person you think you are might fall apart, but who you really are can't fall apart because it was never constructed in the first place. When things fall apart, and they will, remember Pema's teaching. Don't run, just stay, feel it. Remember, groundlessness is freedom. Next time you're uncomfortable, stay with it for 2 minutes. And notice where you feel it. That's the practice. Subscribe for more wisdom. Comment. What's falling apart in your life? Remember, when things fall apart, you're not broken. You're discovering the truth. There was never solid ground, and you never needed it.